Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Theofany Sabtiandy and I'd like to present my material about national language and language planning. National language is the language of a political, cultural, and social unit. It's generally developed and used as a symbol of national unity. Its functions are to identify the nation and unite its people, while an official language is simply a language which may be used for government business, and its function is primarily utilitarian rather than the symbolic. The next is official status and minority language. Because of its colonial history, as well as its value as a world language and international lingua franca, English is an official language in many countries throughout the world, such as Pakistan, Fiji, Vanuatu, Jamaica, and the Bahamas. Even it shares the official status with an indigenous language, such as Malay in Malaysia, Swahili in Tanzania, and Gilbertese in Kinbati. But interestingly, English is not legally an official language of England, the USA, or New Zealand. In these countries, it has not been considered necessary to legislate that the language of the majority is an official language. In New Zealand, ironically, although English is de facto, or in fact or actuality, the official language of government and education, Maori and New Zealand Sign Language are the two languages which have legal or de jure status as official languages. So, what prize a national language? In multilingual countries such as Indonesia, where there are large populations speaking hundreds of different vernaculars, a national language is not only a useful lingua franca and official language, it also serves a symbolic unifying function for these nations. Next is 4 steps in planning for a national official language. Number 1 is selection. It is choosing the variety or code to be developed. The next is codification. It is standardizing its structural or linguistic features. This kind of linguistic processing is known as corpus planning. Number 3, elaboration. It's extending its functions for use in new domains. This involves developing the necessary linguistic resource for handling new concepts and contexts. And the last is securing its acceptance. The status of the new variety is important, and so people's attitudes to the variety being developed must be considered. So, what is linguist's role in language planning? There are 3 roles of the linguistics, and the first is developing vocabulary. In New Zealand, the Maori Language Commission has often been asked for advice on vocabulary for new contexts and use of Maori, as people want to use it for new functions such as writing, official documents, and teaching mathematics and geography. Number 2 is acceptance. In Norwegia, the government regularly publishes its list of approved words, but people have to accept and use them. This is what finally determines whether a proposed form succeeds or not, and this applies as much to an individual word as to a new code selected to serve as a standard official language. And the last is acquisition planning. Sociolinguists may also make contribution to organized efforts to spread a linguistic variety by increasing the number of its users. This is sometimes called acquisition planning. And since the most widespread method of encouraging the acquisition of a language is to use the education system, it is also known as language in education planning. So that's all my presentation. Thank you for watching. And wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.